A sleepless night. We are 27, look at this. We are approaching death. Maybe next week will be the last one? Who knows? I will kinda miss Brante. I paid this game like €1. It's been a great game, man. A sleepless night, then. Maybe you had a sleepless night, Muramatsu. Let's see why. Even late at night, the streets of Anisot echo with chatter. The city cannot sleep. You cannot sleep tonight either. Advisor Pharaoh sent you a surprising note a few hours ago. He is coming. Uy, 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 uy. Ooh. You hear slow, steady footsteps accompanied by the tapping of a cane. There is a knock at the door. Felipe enters the print shop. Sophia quietly follows him in. You exchange a nod. And you know what? By refusing Sophia, by shushing Sophia away, she is not covering us anymore. She may be, if she had a good word for us with Felipe before, now maybe she has a bad word for us. The print shop is crowded despite the late hour. Father Fuad, Alida, and the other workers observe Felipe uneasily. And you know what they are finding? The weapons. Oliver is there too. He acknowledges the Baron with a polite nod. You suddenly realize that Felipe no longer cares at all if the last straw members see his face. You walk into your office with Felipe and Sophia and lock the door. This is Felipe, our boss. Again, we are basically running a secret society in the name of Felipe for him in our city. And yeah. Well then, Brante, I hope your people are ready. It's time to put our plan into action. Sophia, they're ready. Just give us the word. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Soon our song of victory will reach its final note. Our road has been a long one. Our road has been a long one, much longer than we thought, but now the end is in sight. I had a word with the overseer, and in the end I managed to convince him that Elborn simply cannot maintain order in Anisot. We are just one step away from being granted special authority for the secret chancery. All we need is an excuse for action. Prepare your people and take to the streets. And when I finally get their authority, we will eliminate each and every traitor to the Empire. Egmont, Lennart, Elborn, all of them. And me, maybe? But those scum will probably try to flee Anisot. I'll need the people you've recruited throughout Magra, Sophia. There are more than enough of them. I'm glad to hear that. How much time do you need to prepare, Brante? You shift your gaze from Felipe to Sophia. She has been standing behind him all this time, a silent shadow with her head held high, her eyes strained on you. Felipe's cane taps the floor impatiently. He's waiting for an answer. Oh, really? The advisor is right. The day you have worked for all these years has finally come. Are you ready? What will you do now? Murder Felipe. Wow. Proceed with the Felipe's plan. We don't have the spy network or as usual for 1 point, obviously. Ask Egmont to hide you? Ask Elverman to hide you? Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. We have not a secret plot with Sophia, so we can only go into hiding. You will deceive Felipe to stay out of this mess. No one will find you until the danger has passed. I mean, give me at least a couple of choices though. 2 days, you tell him. 2 days ought to be enough. Very well, you have 2 days. You get your people ready and I get mine ready. I need the names of every leader in your freak show, as well as the streets they'll be marching on. Then finally Sir Pharaoh leaves. As the door closes behind him, Sophia lights the pipe she has been stuffing with tobacco since his arrival. Smoke billows out of her mouth, concealing her expression. Well then, Tasto, guess this is it. You sigh. You are tired, so very, very tired. You should probably get some sleep while you can. You will see each other again tomorrow. It will all be over soon. You really think so? You just shrug. Fine, I'm dead on my feet too. See you tomorrow. She walks out the door, leaving the acrid smell of tobacco behind her. You just sit there for a while, your face buried in your hands. You really are tired. All these months and years squirming under an unbearable burden have taken their toll on you. You have done all you could. You cannot go along with Felipe's plan anymore. You do not want this. You cannot do it. You will not do it. I won't. You walk around the print shop and gather each and every scrap of paper related to the last straw. The reports, the letters, the bills, and the many, many lists and notes. The name of agents and contacts, the addresses, the hideouts, the passwords and drop points. You get all the papers together and drench them in ink. No one will ever be able to read them now. No one will ever be able to retrieve so much as a single name. Not Felipe, and not Sophia. Once you are done with the papers, you light 2 lanterns and put them on the windowsill, a signal to your people. They need to run. Flee Anisot and I. This is all you can do for them. Even at night, the city will not sleep. You make your way down crowded, noisy streets to a small ramshackle house at the northern edge of town. It used to be a dyer's shop, but the dyer does not live there anymore. He fled Magra long ago, like so many tradespeople who could not bear the burden of the double tax. The smell of paint is strong inside even now. It has driven away many of the refugees who filled the city. You will wait here for days, or perhaps weeks, until this is all over, or until you think of a better way out. You throw your bag against the wall and collapse into a dirty old mattress. The straw inside is cold and damp, but the city around you will not sleep, and neither will you. Felipe El Ferro relations -2. It's at indifference. Unrest is -3. Is now 2. Unrest calm down. How rebellious the commoners of the province are and how ready they are to fight for their rights. It determines the influence of the last straw in Anisot and the power of the impending rebellion. Spy network -3 is at 4, infiltration still. Willpower -10, exhausted. We are exhausted again. We are falling apart, Muramatsu, we are falling apart. Masks off. It's been 2 days since you last saw Felipe, 2 days since the terrible, dreadful night. You have managed to buy yourself a moment of respite. What should you do next? Felipe will never forgive your betrayal. There can be no doubt about that. His men are surely looking for you already. They will find this place in a matter of days. It's time to act, or run for your life. What will you do? Well, I mean, this is a bit silly though. There is nothing keeping you in Anisot. Flee the city. You have to flee the shelter. What long arms you have. Try to escape the secret chancellery and pay with your life. Well, that achievement kinda was kinda spoiler. Okay. Well, it's not incredible. You have to flee the shelter. There's nowhere else to go. Hiding your face, you make your way toward the city gates, keeping to narrow streets and deserted alleys. Your heart pounds in your chest. You jump at every rustle, every shadow. You finally see the archway of Anisot's north gate. You breathe a quiet sigh of relief. Your footsteps grow steadier and steadier. Each step brings you closer to escaping the giant cage that is Anisot. The shining pillar guides you like a beacon on the horizon. Oy, 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 oy. I know. You hear a familiar voice behind your back. Yeah, I mean, the picture should have gave him away, right? Going somewhere, Sir Brante? You do not even bother to look back. You break into a run, but several figures appear out of nowhere and cut you off. Darkness covers your eyes as a burlap sack is placed over your head. A blow. The world fades out around you. How many hours or days have passed? You do not know. For a long while, darkness is all you see. Your eyes have trouble adjusting to the light. You are shaking. Your hands are numb from the tie ropes wrapped around your wrists. The pain is gone now. You have just stopped feeling it. Your tongue is so parched and swollen, it barely fits in your mouth, despite the extra room afforded by several missing teeth. A firm hand grabs you by the ear. Moss lifts your head up, so you can see the man across from you. Baron Felipe El Ferro, advisor of the Secret Chancery, eyes you with disgust and disappointment. I had a whole farewell speech for you, Brante. I was going to tell you about your mistakes, about my disappointment, about the abhorrent consequences of your actions. But now I look at you and I realize the words are useless here. I do have one question, though. Where is Sophia? What is she up to? Oh, that's your problem, Baron. That's your problem. You silently squint at Felipe through your swollen eyelids. I guess even Sophia is done with you. I died for her. Well, it's time to end this. Here's your sentence, signed by Judge Fokengraben. I don't see any point in delaying it. But you can still be of use to the advisor. Felipe just grimaces in disgust. How? You couldn't even betray me properly. A man with no patrons, no friends, no support. You couldn't even save your own life. I have no use for you. He nods slightly to Oliver. No hard feelings, Tasto. Nothing personal. Noose is placed around your neck. Strong hands tighten the rope. Your body jerks in a last desperate attempt to survive, but you know full well that this is the end. You suffocate. Convulsive spasms shake your body. Everything around you turns red. There is no more fear, no more pain. The only thing you feel is infinite loneliness. But that fades away too. The darkness deepens, the shining pillar draws nearer. The twins, they will be with you forever and always. True death has finally come. True death, experience true death and leave the realm of mortals forever. Achievement. We dead, Muramatsu, we dead. Event has happened, accept true death or 4 deaths. Your earthly life is over, you leave the world forever and face the judgment of the twins. They got us.
Neither side could overcome the other. The fire of the revolt could not be extinguished. The province, and then the whole empire, fell on troubled times.
Outcome of the revolt. For years after your death, Anizat continued to simmer like a cook pot over a slow flame. The powerlessness of the simple folk, unable to change the old order, gradually gave way to rage. Finally, this anger became stronger than their age-old submission to the higher state and their fear of divine retribution. This rage was the spark that lit the fire of the revolt. The rebels took up arms and seized the city for themselves, led from the shadows by the last straw. When the moment of truth came, there was no soul in Anizat strong-willed enough to spearhead the raging revolt. The opposing factions soon reached a stalemate in which neither side could prevail completely. Anizat refused to surrender, but after a prolonged siege, Gaius Tempest finally broke the city's defenses, and the Legion entered the rebellious city of Anizat. The insurgents fled, the mobs disappeared from the squares and the streets. The leaders of the revolt were hanged. But the city's capture made even more trouble for the Overseer. The unrest was beaten down, but not suppressed completely. New riots followed one by one, as the common folk, the new faith priests, and many nobles of the mantle continued to wage a desperate struggle against the old authorities. Gaius Tempest responded to the seething rebellion with more executions and threats, but dissent continued to grow. As the unrest in the city smoldered, the rest of the empire eventually caught wind of the Anizat revolt. Nearby migrant towns and villages saw their first riots soon after. Chaos began to spread across the empire. The empire responded to this enduring turmoil with ruthless action, but even after several villages and towns were drowned in blood, the riots only intensified. The dominance of the emperor and his dynasty began to wane. Power struggles broke out between the powerful nobles in the capital. Then, a shocking event shook the empire to its core. Emperor Uther II was found dead in his palace, never to be reborn. His heirs, Gerion and Flavius, both disappeared without a trace. With no one to take the throne, the noble dynasties accused one another of plotting against the Tempest's rule. Feuds and internecine strife became commonplace. So began an age of anarchy, a time of massacre and riots, conflict and bloodshed, chaos and unrest. There were no winners in this war of all against all, only survivors. The empire entered a dark and terrible age. What became of you, Muramatsu? You have made your last and most important choice. Was your death worth it? Could you have chosen a different path? Either way, there is no going back. Your fate is sealed. There's no returning from the hereafter. And so you bid farewell to your mortal life. Everything you fought for, everything you strove for, all that is behind you now. You are on your way to the Shining Pillar to await the judgment of the twins. Yeah. But the game itself is a bit like this. This is the narrative problem it has. Everything happens suddenly and you don't really see it coming. You walk towards a path, but then you are blocked because you lack one, one in here, one in there. Most of the choices become one-sided. But I talked about this at the very beginning. I don't think this is even. I don't think this is something they fought against, because this kind of game inevitably brings you to this point where at some point you cannot predict what will be the situation in all the possible playthroughs, and so the majority of them will be constricted to one path, just one choice, the standard choice. And so again, stuff happens, This is the problem of this game, yeah. And then suddenly, boom, something happens, and yeah, very anticlimactic. You can no longer change the world's destiny, but the choices you made and the deeds you did have felt an indelible mark. The world will remember the life and suffering of Sir Brante. I don't think so, because we didn't really do anything. We did a bit of work for Felipe, we did a bit of work for the last straw. We were desperately trying to carve a path for ourselves, but we weren't really able. We got the weapons, but then nothing was ever said about those weapons. So yeah, a failure, but I tried to play a bit like I would in real life, and so yes, a failure of a life, completely waste. Nobody will remember. Would have been the same way if Sir Brante was never born. So in this way, that's a success, exactly like in real life. True death. The hour of your death has come. Your soul has left your body, never to return. You are taken to the peak of the shining pillar. Every moment separates you more and more from the mortal realm. The link that once bound you to it is gone forever. You look up to see two divine visages watching you intently. The elder twin gazes upon you, full of sorrow and compassion. The younger examines you dispassionately, seeing your every act and thought. You have ascended from the mortal realm. From here you are but one step away from partaking in eternal bliss atop the peak of the shining pillar. But first you must be judged by them, just as every other soul born in this world has been judged since time immemorial. Only their judgment can decide whether you deserve to remain atop the peak or be hurled down to the foot. You stand before the twins, your very essence is laid bare before them, all the secrets of your inner self revealed in full. Your soul is like an open book to them, one that preserves the story of your entire life. You lie prostrate before the gods. The time has come to take responsibility for your mortal life. And the elder twin asks, "Are you thankful to the gods for the life you lived?" No. No. What do you think, Muramatsu? What would you choose? Glad it's over. Your life was agony. You're happy to end that mortal existence and leave it behind. They hear your answer. Compassion and remorse fill the immeasurably deep eyes of the other twin. He turns to face his divine brother, who returns his gaze with an expression of stern remorse. The other twin asks once more, "What was your life to you?" Well, We spend it mostly at service. Yeah. The other twin bows his head wearily, considering your response, but the stern visage of the younger already looms above you. Suffering, right? Human by the name of Brante, what did you live for? What did we live for, Muramatsu? Well... what's a cause? You yearn to do a great deed that would outlive you, no. Not happiness, not faith, not maybe freedom. Cause? Really? You yearn to do a great deed that would outlive you? Nah. You sought to shape the world and bend it? No. You live for the sake of freedom, both for yourselves. Well, that's good, I think. Yeah. What did we live for? I think we lived for freedom. We tried to, you know. We ended up at service of Felipe because we tried to be free. And then we tried to free us from Felipe. So yeah, I would go freedom. You can get on board with freedom, right? Yeah. The younger's gaze lingers on your bare, defenseless soul. The divine figure continues its stern interrogation. What did you leave behind? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. The younger twin now moves toward you with clear intent, poised to render his judgment, but the elder twin restrains his brother with a gesture. A divine voice fills you once again. Did your life make the world we made better and more perfect? I would say I don't know, but did it become better? Can it be changed? Oh, Muramatsu, help me. Became worse? No, I don't think so. Yeah, maybe it did not become better though. Maybe it cannot be changed. No mortal can ever improve the world. We don't know, right? Yeah, that is not for you to judge. The younger twin is silent, his eyes two swords piercing your soul. The elder twin speaks to you again. These are good cop, bad cop, basically. But you already know the question, the very same question that caused you so much suffering shortly before your true and final death. What determined your destiny? The world around me. Yeah. Your path was charted for you by the people, the age, and the society in which you live. Yeah, which is the very first answer that I gave at the start, because at the start they ask you what determines a person's destiny and the world around him. And in the end, the twin gods exchange a glance that lasts a brief moment and all eternity. Then the hand of the elder twin reaches out to you, glowing with light and warmth. The gods offer you an unprecedented opportunity to change your destiny, to rewrite the book of your life. Okay, we start again. Would you like to take a different path in life? We'll see. We'll see. If it's just a restart, no. We won't go on with it. If it's at a certain point in time, maybe we could discuss about this. I'll go yes, but we'll see. Obviously, you know, you will return to the mortal world and live your life a different way. You reach out to the massive hand of the elder. It lifts you up and you are enveloped in warmth and love. You want to stay like this forever. So this is probably why when we were born, we had to choose between three figures, right? Father, mother, and the twin gods, basically. So we were already reborn like this. It lifts you up and you are enveloped in warmth and love. You want to stay like this forever. But you must return to the life you knew. The other twin's hand releases you. You fly down to the mortal world once more. Ooh, no. Obviously no. Okay, so it's nothing. What is this? To restart from the beginning of the chapter, select its icon. Okay. So what is this? Yeah. Okay, we could have restarted from the start of a certain chapter. It's fine. It's fine then. So here ends. Thank you, Slith. We just died in Brante. Hey, 6 people. Thank you, Slith. How did it go in this different time? Hey, Karnas. I think you could see, right, that you had more people. The more you go on in the day, the more people come. The morning is really a trap, in my opinion. Good though. Good to see you guys. We just died in the life and suffering of Sir Brante. She will be here in 30 seconds. Okay, good. We died. I'm gonna do a new game in Italian. Okay, probably starting next week. So, Muramatsu especially, if you wanna see another path, we'll try to take a bit of a different path. I'll have to see though, because I have to translate the game. It's not in Italian. That will be a problem. You're here, there you go. Yeah, we just died. Anticlimactic, see. You just died, yes. But I'm reborn, as you can see. Anticlimactic death, yeah. As everything in my life, no? And in my stream, so nothing surprising. I would still say it's a good game. I'll try to not let myself be bummed by this anticlimactic end and maybe give it another try. But again, as we saw, the more you go into the game, the more the choices become strict because they are restricted from what you have. So I thought you died. No, I died. It was going to happen, but didn't really expect it, right? Yeah, it's been also a bit anticlimactic, so it was quite sudden. We didn't really have any chance to build the path for ourselves. Yeah, a failed series as usual, but